cannot afford to miss a single moment of the next hour. Get ready to have your ideas about sexuality, love, and relationships blown wide open. It's time to get educated, entertained, and enlightened, as well as sexually empowered. You have now tuned into the Tantra Love, Sex, and Intimacy Show. Now, here's your host, Tanya Diamond.
There it is.
Trying to make you laugh.
You know why it wasn't working for me?
Why?
Because I'm trying to delete all this Facebook
Are too many
stuff
people
off my
using your Facebook as a place to just talk and have their thing out?
No, that would be great. If they wanted to hang their thing out,
Are they
whatever.
inviting you to do everything?
No, they're doing things like throwing me you know those little things.
They're throwing sheep at you and
sheep
pillows
and,
at you.
You know, I mean, sheep and pillows and little angels and stuff like that. It's like,
Right,
okay, I know. Okay, if you're listening to me and you're one of those people doing that, I love you, but I don't love your little things on my Facebook.
You know, you can disable that function.
Really?
That application.
Wow, I would love to do that. So somebody will have to tell me how to do that.
I'll show you how to do that
Thank you.
on the break.
All right, so I would have been laughing otherwise. But
I was trying to
no.
figure out, am I allowed to say things to you through the microphone, or will everybody be hearing me over the intro? So I just kept it to myself, lip synced or something.
All right, so we're here. You're here, and you're wondering, what has that got to do with Tantra or anything else? You know,
I've got a topic tonight.
You have a topic? It cannot be any more exciting than our webinar that's coming up on Saturday, though.
Oh, tell me what the webinar is going to be about.
Well, what?
Of course, it's going to be you.
It's going to be cooking. Oh,
well, you can't just say it's going to be about sex. It's going to be great.
Right.
It's going to be about Tantra.
No, it's going to be about Tantra. It's going to be about modern Tantra. It's going to be about Neo-Tantra. It's going to be about classical Tantra. It's going to be about Tantra, because what the heck is Tantra?
What is Tantra?
Exactly. Is it some like free-for-all orgy? Is it a bunch of hippies sitting around naked? Are we sitting in
I'm celibate. I'm not doing either of those things. Please don't throw those words out at me like that so carelessly. Right.
You know, are we all sitting around in robes with the incense going on here? Is it an esoteric philosophy? Is it like what?
If we're on a webinar, how do we get the participants to smell the incense, though?
We don't. See, that's the thing. And we're not going to have incense.
No incense.
But I'll tell you what, this webinar. This is our first.
I'm going to burn incense.
Are you going to burn incense? Okay. He's going to burn incense on the webinar. He'll be there.
Dancing in the background.
That's right.
Burning
with his clothes on. Clothes on, ladies. Don't get too excited. So here's the deal. All right. This is our first webinar. Does technology rock?
I love technology.
I mean, get this. You're going to sit in your home and see us, me, whoever's there.
No, I'm going to sit in your
in the living room.
No,
you're going to be with me, but in your living room.
Right.
You could be in your office, your living room, whatever, and experience me live, woohoo, and you get to
talking
ask
and
me
teaching.
Questions. You can find
Live?
the little thing boxed live. You can bing, 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 and there's your question. And
we might need to buy a big plasma screen so we can put the questions up on the board.
That's it. That's what we're going to do. We're going to go out and buy a big plasma screen. Yeah,
that's
there's a guy thinking. The bigger, the better. That's the guy thinking.
Plasma screen.
So here's the deal. We are doing this because it's our first one. This is the ground floor of all the rest that's to come. We're talking about presentations, educational series. We're on it. We've got the tech wonder.
If you wanted to get to our seminars, this is the fast track.
Because you guys are listening to me from all over the world. I get that. And you email me all the time saying, wow, if only I was in Seattle.
And how many times did we say we would love to be able to arrive at your living room?
We've said that a lot. I would love to be in your living room.
Maybe
some people have me in their bedroom. I don't know. Maybe they'll put me in their bedroom. The bathroom, that's cool too. I'm okay with the kitchen, the bathroom, the garage.
Maybe send some questions, we could do a sort of a progression week by week,
right?
And say, okay, this week, ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and put your hand on his.
I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna have to wait and see. You're gonna have to wait and see how this progresses.
Suspense.
But I'm telling you
I'm waiting
that right now, bottom floor, you are coming in at the groundbreaking floor here of our launch of Modern Tantra into the world, and for this seminar, I know this sounds like, wait, there's more. But for this seminar, check out this price, $4.97.
$4.97.
Is that wickedly cool?
Are you telling me that I could buy you a latte for the same price as it would be to spend, an hour with you?
Right, exactly.
On a webinar.
How cool is that?
A latte. How many of you out there would buy Tanya a latte? I got the first one, though.
They're putting their hands up. If only I drank caffeine. But caffeine makes me nervous.
What would you like to drink? You want some green tea? You want a nice herbal infusion,
it's all good.
market spice?
But you got to understand, $4.97. that is like, I feel like I'm selling jewelry now. $4.97 on the Home Shopping Network. Right. Just for $4.97, look at this. You could wear it. You could have it in your bedroom. You could have it in your bathroom. It looks great for holidays. But anyway,
even Josh could wear it.
For $4.97, you can have the education that people pay a lot of money for, and it will not stay at $4.97. But you need to get in there and find out what the heck is going on. Now, let's say you can't make it at Saturday, the 16th, at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Right.
Okay, that's when it's live. Saturday, 16th, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. All right? And let's say you can't make it for some reason because you're like on the other side of the world and you're at work or you're at sleep or something's going on.
Or 6 p.m. happens to be 4 a.m. where you live.
So here's the deal. You would be able to download it.
Oh.
And watch it whenever you
download
want.
it.
Now, of course, you can't interact live with me if you download it because we're not that slick yet.
That would be weird. You know, I keep calling. Nobody's answering.
We need the psychic network for that. But but in the meantime, so here's the deal. So you're wondering,
be amazed what's possible here.
Exactly. Now I have the tech wizard of the universe sitting in my living room at home, who's being able to make all this possible. So I am
Max is magical.
That's right, and I am very excited. So I'm going to give you right now. I'm going to drop you the link. You know, how in the world do you get to this? How do you pay for it? How do you get there? I'm going to give that to you. But guess what? I'm not going to give it to you right now. I know.
Because you need a moment to get your pen.
Do you understand? Well, they need a moment to get their pen, but do you understand that one of the best foreplay moves in the world is anticipation?
When you slow it down like that and you use words like that, I just
anticipation.
Need a moment of pause.
So I'd like you to anticipate that
I'm in anticipation and I'm going to be there.
Morsel of information that will be coming to you soon. So if you don't have a paper and pen, you're going to want to go get a paper and pen because I will be telling you this. And we're looking to have, thousands of people just jumping on board.
Now, are you going to eventually put this link on the Facebook page too?
Oh, I just opened my little browser here.
Really?
Facebook, Tanja, Tanya Diamond. Wow, I'm about to drop that in there. Twitter, okay. I'll drop it in Twitter. We'll drop it in Facebook.
Okay, good deal.
Okay, so in the meantime, that's super exciting for us, and I hope it's super exciting for you because Modern Tantra is really, and my best friend Craig is not here. He was supposed to be here tonight as we're talking about that. He's not here. I'm going to have to talk to him about his integrity because that's just not okay. Anyway, Modern Tantra is the next step in life. Basically, we're all floundering around trying to figure out what in the world are we doing. More and more people are in chaos, the economic decline, all this stuff, 40 million sexless couples. You guys have all heard me say this before.
Economic decline.
We're in trouble.
40 million sexless couples. I think there's a relationship there.
Of course, there's always a relationship to everything. That's the whole point. Everything is connected. So you may think that Tantra is exclusively about sex, and you would be very wrong, because it's about a whole lot more than that.
You mean this whole time that I've been sitting across the table from you?
Yeah, exactly. It's been a lot more than that. And he says that, but he knows that.
All right.
He knows that. So that's part of what the webinar is talking about, is what can Tantra do for you? One of my clients has become just about to become a multimillionaire. Because
One
of
your
Tantra.
clients is about to become a multimillionaire because of Tantra.
That's right. And it's not in the sex industry.
Nice.
Yeah. So there is, exactly. So there's a lot going on. Now, Joshua, you said you had a topic. Is this something I'm going to want to talk about?
Last week, we can't keep talking. We can't just stop talking at the end of the radio show. So last week, if you recall, on the outtakes, if you will, we got into a conversation with our dear friend Billy.
Ah, yes, that's right.
About a dilemma that is not exclusive to him.
No, that is true. And part of that is, so the question or the concern is, what happens when my girlfriend gains a lot of weight and I don't care, but she does, and stops wanting to have sex?
Not only stops wanting to have sex, but as he put it, she really rides him. She gets bitchy. And so if she's unhappy with herself, she starts treating him poorly because she's not happy about herself.
Right. So what do we do about these
issues?
She's
not getting any sex. There's a backlash on that.
Right. And so every woman on the planet just about always thinks, oh, no, they're always obsessed about their weight, whether they need to lose it or not, or whatever's going on. And we've had a lot of interesting, we've actually dared to go to the fat talk on the radio.
We've gone there a few times, yeah.
We have actually had that talk. I mean, what do you say to your partner who's gained weight? What do you say to your partner who's lost weight? Some people don't like it when they're men or women, get too thin. So, and then what do you do when your partner gains weight? They're unhappy, but you're not. What do you do? Any thoughts on that, Joshua?
What do you do when your partner, your beloved, changes weight, shape, or size? That's a tough one. Are
they going to change size?
Well,
I guess that could be true.
Hey, at one point in my life, I was working out a lot. I was running, I was swimming, and I actually one day went to get dressed, and I went to grab a belt, and my pants fell to my ankles before I had a chance.
I thought you were talking about other sizes, but that's okay.
But there's all.
We can move on from there.
You approve of that? You say if they get bigger,
no, it's
or
not.
smaller.
I'm talking. I'm working on my ebook right now about penile enlargement, and it's true, and it happens. I know.
No, that could be tragic. What happens if you're having a great time in a relationship and you think that she wants bigger, and then she decides, honey, I didn't want you bigger.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, you're too big, and that does happen.
Too big, and next thing you know, he's got to go. Use the size chart and figure out who he's compatible with.
Right.
Wouldn't that be terrible?
It happens. So anyway, we're back to the, so your partner has changed shape. They've gained weight, they've lost weight, they've done something that alters the way they were. Now, here's the deal, though. We're all going to get old, right?
Yes, we're all going to change.
That's really a fascinating thing that people are so, hooked into somebody's looks, and that's great for short term, but, eventually we're all going to age. So there's going to be some changes anyway. Nothing stays the same. Everything in life is static. We are the only thing in the world that tries to make everything stay.
I look at it kind of like the taxi cab metaphor. The moment you get into a taxi cab, the meter starts.
Yeah, there you go.
Nothing is the same from the moment you get into the cab. So when you're in a relationship, the moment you get into the relationship, that's where things start.
Right. Changing. They start changing. So, okay. So this is a twofold thing. One, bless the man's heart for being with a woman who has gone and done the socially horrifying thing of actually putting on some weight. And notice I say socially horrifying because that's not how I feel about it, and there's a lot of other people that don't feel that way. But she's put on weight, and he loves her. He says she's hot. He's like, he doesn't
still wants
care.
To be with her, to embrace her, to love her, and he's a sweet guy.
He's an awesome guy. We love him.
Now, personally, I told him straight up he's being too nice.
Well, yeah, but look, that's not the point on this. The point on this is, what do we do? Because she's holding the reins. She's not interested in exposing her body because she doesn't feel good. Now,
I've got a thought on this. First off, slight different direction. Then, of course, I'll stop interrupting you.
That'll be the day.
One of the things from a behavior management perspective is she was treating him poorly. The nicer he was, the more mean she was. And one of the things I shared with him after you had stepped out is he needs to, it's not that he has to become mean or less nice, but he needs to establish his value.
Well, his own boundaries.
He needs to have boundaries.
Right.
And to even say, honey, I love you. I know there are things we're working on, and I expect to be treated better than this. You are not allowed to treat me this way.
Right.
And just putting your foot down like that as a man in a gentle, loving way, I think could make more attraction happen. So
I'm laughing because you keep looking at you just cannot stop looking at yourself.
I'm easily distracted by shining objects, and I've got a shaved head.
Whatever. Okay, I'm closing the window here.
Please close the window.
Oh my God,
this is
you just
difficult
keep
for
looking
me.
at yourself in the mirror here.
It's like I'm looking at you. I'm looking at me. I'm looking at my computer.
So here's the deal.
Yeah,
we actually do need one of the things that's been shown in studies is that if the better we insist our partners treat us, so the higher standards we have right from the beginning of the relationship, the happier, better, and more successful the relationship.
Yes.
Okay. So here's a great guy who really, is digging on his partner, and maybe she's not being pleasant all the time. And he allows that, which then escalates the situation. And we all do this to some extent. We allow our partners or our coworkers or our family or somebody in our life to push us.
Yeah.
And we don't stop. Now, if it gets really out of control, it's really hard then to come back and say, wow, I've never liked this. That's out of integrity too. 2 years later, you're telling somebody, by the way.
No big deal, no big deal, no big deal. And then
then
one day it's like, I've had enough of this.
Right.
Yeah.
So you need to establish these type of things in the beginning. I mean, I have said to partners, I will not be treated like this.
Mm-hmm.
This is not how, and if you would like to continue to do this, this isn't going anywhere.
Well, you're going somewhere.
Well, yeah, the relationship's not going anywhere, but
leaving.
somebody's going somewhere. So there's a twofold issue here. But really what I want to talk about with that issue is the weight gain. Women gain weight can be for different reasons. So, the fact that she's not liking herself, I also suggested, now, we're just all supposing here, okay? So we don't have enough information to really make any accurate assessments on any of this. We're just throwing stuff out there, okay? I had an ex whose wife put on a lot of weight, and he didn't like it at all, and that was clear. And when she started to lose weight, he would comment on, wow, you look good, this, that, and she would put the weight back on.
What's up with that?
She didn't want to have sex with him.
Right.
So the reality was she was using the weight, which she knew, to not engage him. And so she'd lose, and like I said, he'd look at her interestedly, she'd put on weight. So now, obviously, this is really passive-aggressive behavior. This is really unhappy, no communication behavior. They did not have a good relationship, okay?
Right.
Clearly not. There are women and men out there that do use weight to keep them safe or keep them unavailable or push other people away. All right? So we don't know if that's part of this case. Now, I say that there are no such thing as a bitchy woman. Women are not bitchy.
Right.
Women,
there's always a reason,
can be unhappy and then act that way. And usually it's intimacy needs not being met or self-care needs not being met. So if a woman is good at her self-care, but in relationship with somebody that her intimacy needs aren't being met in the relationship, there is nothing worse on the planet. Let me tell you, I'm pretty pleasant most of the time. But wow.
This is true.
Yeah, but wow. Let me tell you, I had not too long ago recent experience of all of a sudden standing in my living room thinking, this kind of thing with my hair standing on end and all, my hands up in the air and flying. And I thought, wow, what is going on with me? That's just not a state that I'm usually in.
Maybe unhappy?
I was unhappy. I wasn't communicating clearly. I was letting my self-love cup was getting empty, and that coupled
Tipped
with
over.
Yeah. And I realized, wow, okay, I'm upset. And it's not really at anybody, it's at how I feel inside. So this is, back up, say, I'm sorry, everybody. Hello.
Right. Everybody
caution,
take a time out.
Caution, right. Caution. And, so, okay. So there's a lot of information in that. We've got the, what happens if my partner gains weight and I don't like it? What happens if my partner gains weight and I do like it?
And
they
even
don't like
in
it?
a relationship, as guys, we look for solution and blame, right? So, but even in the ambiguity of we get into relationships, we get safe, we get comfortable. And maybe she worked out before the relationship, and in the comfort of the relationship and the schedules, or maybe she took on some classes or something, became busier than she could maintain a workout routine. So the self-care dropped because of normal activities of daily life and progression of relationship. And then there's this conflict of getting uncomfortable and the uncomfortable getting out of control.
Well, and I hate to, the only reason I feel like I can really talk to this is because I've been in both situations. I've been in the woman in the situation of being the woman that has the weight on, and then her boyfriend gaining the weight, because generally the men I date are in really great shape.
Okay.
And then I'm looking at my partner who's put on 20 pounds, and I'm thinking, I'm not digging this.
Honey, if you're getting comfortable, get uncomfortable.
Well, and then what do you say? And it's like you feel pretty hypocritical saying, how do you have that conversation? Like I said, that's a really tough one. That did not go well. They don't ever
go well.
Well,
honey, I hired you And your resume said you were this?
No.
And now you're looking like that, and you are starting to not meet your job description.
That is so not true. That is so not true. No, it was really, really, really hard. It was really hard. I said, look, I have a conversation to have with you that's going to be difficult. I don't see any way that this is going to work out well, but I feel compelled to have it.
Mm-hmm.
And, I said, yeah, that last 20 pounds isn't working for me very well.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I'm telling you is because I love you. I want to be turned on by you, but that's not working. And it's 20 and something can be done. I mean, he's a construction worker. Men can lose 20 pounds in, a couple of blinks of the eye.
Yeah.
And it's like, I know. And he's looking at me and I said, yeah, okay, I get it. I was the same weight he met me. So he was, whatever.
Right.
But if he wanted to throw it back, that was fine. I'll take it. That was.
How did he take that?
No, I mean, how did he take it?
How'd that go?
Are you telling me you think I'm fat? And I said, well, I mean, you have fat on your body that I'm not enjoying, but no. And he's shaking his head and looking at me like, I cannot believe that you said that. And I said, well, I can either say it and we can do something about it together, or I can not say it, and you're wondering why I don't ever look at you anymore and why I'm not interested in you anymore and why things are going wrong. Would you rather wonder that? Ultimately,
rather have the information. I'd rather have the beta.
Of course. So it's really tough, and it's got to be tougher for men. And I know that men are out there doing that and saying that to women and having truth. And at the same point, we've got to love the people we're with more than at a certain decimal point. I mean, if that's all that matters, because really that relationship, quite frankly, there was so many things wrong with it that when that went, that was like the last straw for me, okay? Because that's like maybe the only thing my attraction wasn't high to begin with, and that threw it over.
Right.
So that should say something. We need to be looking at that. If we're picking one specific thing to be so structured, and that any change around it would totally nullify what we're doing,
right?
There's a lot more problems in that relationship.
I hear you.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, the vows aren't in sickness and health until one of us
not
gains
even the
5 too
vows, but
many.
my God, you think about it. Well, I love this person. Where in the aspects of that you love them? When, and yet society is telling us it needs to be in the looks. When my partner and I took a quiz. We took this little tell me how you love me, and there's questions you answer and stuff. And one of them was, what do you value the most about your partner? And it has, they're sexy, their looks, they're this, they're that, they're who they are, blah, blah, all this stuff. And he picked the two that probably should have blown me out of the water as the most incredible gift any man could ever give to a woman, right? And I looked at it and went, well, you didn't check my body, or you didn't check this sexy part over here. And he goes, no, I checked the box that says your values. The other box is like who you are. And I'm like, well,
And women always say they want to be appreciated for who they are.
No, we just want to be objectified, really. And
the truth only comes out at what, 40?
I was 48. I was so upset until I really had to take a moment and go, oh, yeah, of course this means that this man totally digs me. Like, okay, so I have a breast removed. I, have a problem. I become ill. We get old together, by God, and he actually still likes me, loves me, who I am.
That's kind of important. That's who you're spending the time with.
Exactly. So I just want to offer that perspective. And to women who are constantly complaining, that's my vibrator. Sorry,
right.
my vibrator's going
off
in here.
The table's vibrating. I'm like, what the?
It's my phone. Anyway, to the women that are chronically complaining about how they look, they won't eat a meal out with a man. I have to tell you, ladies, right now, if you go on a date and you're one of those women that picks at a salad and talks about how you already can't pig out or whatever, you need to stop that, because there's very few men in the world that actually enjoy that.
That could be one of my criterion.
Right.
If a woman just picks at the food and doesn't really eat, you're out.
Right. It's got to be, because I don't know. Who wants to live in that kind of discomfort, scarcity, and whatever? That's not the time to be doing that. By the way, we didn't talk about the fact that we have a new producer.
Ian is the man.
Ian is smoking hot. Yeah, I just have to say that.
Ian, can you handle that?
As a compliment.
You'll take that.
Excellent.
He's got that.
Are you okay being objectified?
Absolutely.
Okay. Just want to make sure that in this relationship, I don't know if you can call it sexual harassment if you agree to it in advance.
It's cool. I'm all about open communication.
Excellent, excellent.
So we really, really miss Billy because Billy is really, really awesome, and I'm still enjoying the fact that we have Ian. So it's an and world.
Yes.
I miss Billy, and we love Ian.
Well,
Yes.
Billy's actually a good friend of mine for years. So
Cool.
He's awesome.
Cool.
I'm not a good replacement, but I'll substitute.
All right, that's good. You're not the dog friend though, are you? No. Okay, because
I don't know what that means, but
no, we've heard about.
Are we
him.
talking about the friend with the dog or the friend who is the dog?
The friend that is the dog.
Oh,
no.
You would
good.
know if you were the one.
Yeah.
I'd have to hit him over the head right now. So anyway, yeah, we can't go into that whole space as women where we're chronically complaining, chronically unhappy with the way we look, with our bodies, with whatever, because that's, first of all, it's boring, people. I mean, it's boring.
Yeah.
It's and you're living in a space of lack. You're living in a space of scarcity. You're living in a space of negativity.
Fear of change.
Well, hating yourself is the worst thing in the world.
Right.
I mean, how are you going to find love? How are you going to find happiness? How are you going to find ecstatic bliss in the bedroom when you don't like yourself?
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to.
Right.
You know? So here.
And how are you going to experience my hands on you?
Oh, God. He has to go there. He can't help it. He just really can't help it. So here, look up here. I am 48 years old with a child, and at I'm going to say it on the radio.
Adorable child, I'll say.
230 pounds. Okay, there's a woman, 5'4", who said that on the radio. Did you hear me?
Beautiful pounds.
Thank you very much. And so, therefore, I want to tell you, at 48, with a child, with a small child, not even an older child, right? And quote unquote fat, overweight, I have a smoking, hot, sexy, awesome, fabulous flippin' man.
He is all that.
And I mean, so ladies, come on.
Breathe
Give yourself
with it.
a break
Breathe
here
with it.
and just quit believing all the stuff about yourself that may or may not be true.
Well, and if it's not just my hands, if the presumption is that women want to enjoy a man who loves them and enjoys them, they want to feel adoration in word, in action, in touch. If she's preventing that, then any man's desire to appreciate is going to be hindered. It's going to be thwarted. It's going to be stopped.
That's the whole point. And, you can say, well, I'm embarrassed or I don't look great or that. And, it's not going to get you what you want. I mean, first of all, you got to ask yourself, what do you want in life? What do you want in this life? Do you want to be slimmer? If you really want to be slimmer for whatever reason, then do that. Quit talking about it and make it happen. Okay? If you feel like you need to talk about it because everybody else is talking about it and, you're going to look gauche if you don't, get over it. We've got to stop the craziness of this. It's got to stop.
And no matter what size, shape, weight you are, the fear of judgment, everyone is judging in a split second. Every time we see someone, we judge. Get over it. Right.
We all judge. That's the way it is. Anybody that tells me, everybody on the spiritual quest, they're saying, we don't have judgment. You have to have judgment, or you wouldn't know what radio show to listen to, or what street direction to take, or whatever. Okay,
you have to have judgment.
Understand that there's judgment. It happens. It's when judgment rules your life,
right,
without consciousness, that you have a problem. So, okay, I know I'm on this. I'm like, ladies, really, gentlemen, anybody. Self-care means to be in love with yourself. Self-care means to take the time to love yourself. And love yourself now, right now, not when you lose 10 pounds, not when you do this, not when you do that, get your hair restoration, whatever it is. Don't wait. Love yourself now.
Okay.
I have a thing that says, I would say, inhale what is and exhale what will be. And what that means is we're inhaling the now. We're in the process of living in this moment.
Right.
And we can exhale our vision and our desires for the future. Right? But we do need to inhale now. This is all we have, this inhaling now.
Because if you don't inhale,
you're going to die.
You lose the
and then
now.
you look bad. Because let me tell you, dead, no.
I don't look very good peaked.
No. Peaked is not a good color on anybody. We are going to head off for a short break here, and we will be back, and I'm sure to entertain you and hopefully talk about something that interests you and you get some education out of tonight. We'll see you in a few.
I'm too sexy for for your party, too sexy for your party. The way I'm disco dancing, I'm a model, you know what I mean. And I do my little turn on the catwalk, yeah, on the catwalk, on the catwalk, yeah, I do my little turn on.
Is your sex life non-existent? Do sexual dysfunctions leave you soft? Is internet porn getting more than you are? Or are you paying more attention to porn than your partner? Have you tried talk therapy and it got you nowhere? You are not alone. You can be freed from sexual shame, guilt, and dissatisfaction. A visit to the Tantra teacher is in order. Call now and mention you heard the Tantra teacher on the radio and get a very special offer. Stop waiting for a miracle and call right now. 206-276-2735. Phone consultations or in person will get you the information you need to be successful in your love life. But you have to call now. 206-276-2735. Stop making excuses. Call the Tantra teacher. 206-276-2735.
Did you know that you can rate this show on iTunes? The show you're listening to right now. It's true. You can leave your thoughts about the show, the topic, the guest. You can even leave a suggestion. Then, before you leave, rate the show. The hosts love hearing from you, so next time you download this show from iTunes, leave your thoughts and rate the show for the host and for others.
Are you one of the 40 million sexless couples in the U.S.? Are you wondering why having sex leaves you feeling lonely? Are you suffering from the myths of sexual dysfunction? Do you know in your heart that there has to be more than what you're currently getting out of making love? To rid yourself of sexual ignorance, get more out of your lovemaking, and find out more about spiritual sexual connection, then you need to check out www.thetantrateacher.com to receive your free copy of the ebook called Secrets of the Tantra Teacher. Don't suffer another minute without the sexual loving and ecstatic bliss you were born to receive. Get to www.thetantrateacher.com right now. That's www.thetantrateacher.com.
I'm too sexy for your party, too sexy for your party. The way I'm disco dancing, I'm a model, you know.
People have got to hate that, when you come back on here and the people are all just moving around and dancing to these songs. But, so apparently you asked me on the break, you told me on the break that I didn't actually answer the question of how do you talk to somebody about that.
How do I tell?
I mean, I gave you my the way to communicate anything difficult is with compassion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you have to ask yourself, do you want to keep the relationship or not? We could be talking about, honey, I'm not happy in the bedroom. Honey, I'm not, thrilled about the changes you've made. Honey, whatever. It could be any of these loaded topics that nobody will go near because they're so afraid it's going to change the relationship. Guess what? The relationship has already changed. That's why you're unhappy.
Oh.
So it's like you can sit around and let it get worse and worse. You can sit around and not say anything. It's always worse to hear it a long time later than it is right away. I don't know about you guys, but there's nothing I feel like worse than hearing from somebody that they've been unhappy about something I've been doing for 2 years. I mean, 2 years I've been doing this thing that they don't like, and now I get to hear about it.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's not fun.
That's not fun at all.
I mean, yeah,
Because then to know that they've been harboring that and holding that for 2 years.
I know. It's like, well,
I usually just break up at that point.
Yeah, well, that's what a lot of people do.
One of my codependency patterns is to, well, it's no big deal. Just chill with it. It's all right, Josh. And then little by little, one grain of sand at a time, the desert is emptied. I am gone. And then I just sort of say, oh, by the way, I know you think that everything's just fine and cool, but I've actually left months ago.
Right. Yeah. And, and that's also one of those scary things. But how do you trust somebody when they don't tell you what's really going on? When they don't tell you what's going on and you think everything's groovy, and then all of a sudden they're like, hey, I haven't been attracted to you for the past 5 years. Wow. Okay, then what do you do with that information?
I usually don't say that. I just sort of
you just leave. Right, exactly.
This isn't working anymore.
Right. So,
and that's honest. but it's not
Well,
it's
kind of.
It's a summary.
Yeah, exactly.
But, however, it's not learning, and I'm destined to repeat it.
Right.
And I haven't been fair to that person, and they're wondering what happened.
Right, exactly.
How long have you known this? Oh, 5 years.
Yeah, exactly. It's a long time. So, okay, communication. All right. Communication is not just talking to somebody, because talking to somebody can work or not work, and it can get you the result you want or not.
It can get your butt kicked out the door.
It's dicey, it's scary, and yet we must forge ahead and make it happen.
Right.
So what is the best way to communicate something very, very difficult with somebody else? I said first, with compassion. So number one, you don't ever blurt it out in the middle of a fight. You're having a big fight with somebody and you say, oh, and by the way, I never liked the way you had sex with me. Oh. Yeah, not so good. Remember, anything that comes out of your mouth cannot be taken back. I do have a do-over thing. Basically, I do.
Do-over.
Yeah, it's called the do-over because God bless them, but most men are novices at communicating their feelings. They really are. They're not. The communicating their feelings is not the strong suit. All right. And so I believe in giving my men a do-over because there's nothing worse than a man finally breaking loose and telling you how he feels and screwing it up some way because he's not practiced at it, and then coming down on it.
Saying the opposite of what he meant.
Right, exactly. Because then, it's not going to get better from
I statements. Saying the opposite of what I meant.
Right. So, anyway, the difficult part is to, you have to sit down with the person. It's not in a fight. You've got to be calm. You need to go for the connection, and that means to breathe together. With the things that we teach, eye gazing, breathe together, some physical contact, a hand on a shoulder, a hand on a hand.
Use the tools.
And how about a headline? That we always talk about the headline. Headline, honey, I love you, and there's something that I need to say that's really difficult for me. And it's probably going to be difficult for both of us.
I'm going to write this down.
And the reason that I am willing to say this, even though it's probably going to be tough, is because I love you and I value our relationship and I want to make this work. All right. That's scary to hear, but you're also hearing the fact that the person is telling you they want the relationship, they love you, they want to be with you, and they want this to work. Okay? Right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's helpful, don't you think?
Yeah, that sort of, helps things move along.
Right. And then you can say succinctly, as gently as you can, whatever it is you need to say, like, maybe you've, let's take sex. You're telling your man, I've been doing a lot of reading and I've been doing a lot of self-education, and I realize that I'm not as happy as I could be with our sex life.
That's a really nice way of saying it.
Yeah.
That's a really well thought out way of saying it.
Right. Instead of, you suck in the bedroom.
You suck, I haven't had a good orgasm.
Yeah, that doesn't work so well. But saying, and I'm wondering if we can figure out how to make this change together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You might be able to hear that, right?
Yeah.
All right.
On that note, I saw a commercial that I loved and hated at the same time. It's a condom commercial.
Yeah.
And the new Excite condoms that have some chemical in it that makes it on
fire.
Not heat
Great.
fire, but
Right.
that make her nerve endings more sensitive.
Great.
So she loves it.
Well, let me tell you, I've had
supposedly
to try to wash that stuff off sometimes, and you can't get it off. That's no fun.
No, it has to absorb its way through. And he's thinking he's the man. I'm the man. She's like, and she's saying to the audience, this new great condom is so great because it has the Excite added to it. Oh, it's so great. That's because I'm the man. It's like,
oh my God,
yes,
so it's
honey,
all about the condom.
Yes, honey, you're the man. And so it's hilarious.
Oh my
and
gosh,
then,
and it's sad.
After they've made love and she's all like, oh, and he's like, I'm the man, honey, aren't I? She's like, yes, honey, you're the man. And it's like, it's so horrible because really, no.
Right. Really, it was all about the stuff on the condom. Wow. Okay. So that's intense. And actually it's telling society how most women feel about sex if 58% of them would rather go shopping.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's a lot of truth in that commercial there, which is sad. But okay. So having that tough talk, right? And saying, and I'd like to work on this together. Okay. Let's say, so maybe that's not the toughest one. The weight stuff, the fat issue.
Now guys, here's the ego thing. Don't take it personally. Hear the part where she said, I'd like to work on this together.
Right. Hear the part where if she's actually asking for change, it means she's actually interested in sex still.
Woohoo!
Because otherwise, she wouldn't even be having that talk with you.
Right.
Better to have that talk than not have that talk.
Right.
But let's just talk about the toughest thing in the world, the change.
We're back
changed
at that
your benefits.
question.
Well, because people, they're like,
It's
oh my
tough.
God, I can't believe you actually said that to a man. And then I had all these women saying to me, oh, I would love to tell my husband that. I wouldn't dare.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, all these women gathering around, there were 10 or 15 of them saying,
Mm-hmm.
oh my God, I can't believe you said that.
Yep.
And I so want to say that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. You've got to say something if it's really effective. You either have to, change your own attitude. Like, so let's say my relationship with that particular man had been really rocking, right? Like, it was everything I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I would have been that bothered. I mean, I would notice, and maybe I wouldn't be as
Depends
thrilled.
on if you added another 20.
Right. Well, there is. But if everything else was in place, that wouldn't have been that critical.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But let's say it is critical. Let's say that's just how it feels. And you've examined yourself, and it's not that you are using your partner as some ego trip for you. In other words, you can't be seen walking down the road unless they look a certain way, because that's a reflection on you, in which case you need to work on you first.
Mm-hmm.
And you should always work on you first anyway.
Right.
But okay, you got to have the talk. All right. Once again, compassion, connection, and everything else. Wow, honey, I love you and I value our relationship. And I value our relationship so much that I am willing to have this conversation with you, which is making me really nervous and uncomfortable. And I'm sure it's going to be a very difficult conversation. But I love you and I'm willing to go here because I need to talk about this. And they're going to be nervous, of course. And you can say,
Right.
I understand.
What is it? What is it?
Yeah, I understand you're nervous. And
I'll take out the trash.
The headline, the trash, damn it. And the headline is, I love you and I want to be with you and we're okay. Right?
Mm-hmm.
We're okay.
We're okay.
All right. So, that means that most people think, oh my God, they're breaking up with me. And then you can just say, I find that I am having difficulty being as attracted to you as I was with the changes that your body's been through.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you didn't even use the word fat there, right?
Right.
Or you can just say, since you've put on these last few pounds,
Mm-hmm.
I find myself looking away from you, not towards you as much.
Mm-hmm.
And I hear that that's hurtful. And I understand that's a really hard thing to say.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like if I don't say something and all I do is fade away and stop being interested, that is worse on our relationship.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
So there's a way to talk about something and, and you say, I love you and I want to be with you. And just the fact that I can actually tell you and you can receive it
Mm-hmm.
makes us even more solid
Mm-hmm.
because we really get it.
Now, what if it's the other way around? What if it's the man saying it to the woman?
Well, it's the same thing. Most men kind of, when I've heard this topic being said, it's so uncomfortable for a man to say it, he usually blows it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's usually some remark like, or he'll really start looking at other women a ton.
Right.
He looks them up and down, and the woman's like, what? So a lot of men don't actually sit and have a conversation like that. So if she'd put on like 10, and you got to understand, it's easier to take off 10 pounds than it is 100.
Mm-hmm.
You wait till somebody's 100 pounds overweight and have this discussion, it's a lot harder because
Mm-hmm.
it's going to take them a lot longer if they decide to do that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
10 pounds, 20 pounds, if you realize there's starting a trend and you're like, not so happy about that, it's time to have that discussion. It can be like, I love you, same thing. I
Mm-hmm.
want this relationship, I'm attracted to you, and I want to be even more attracted to you as I was. And I will support you. Let me know what you need for me to support you. Was I not paying enough attention to you before? I mean, there's a lot of reasons
Mm-hmm.
that this happens. So having an open conversation about it,
Right.
and understanding that it's painful, and giving that person a place to be upset and cry and be angry because they just heard something that was painful for them
Mm-hmm.
is important.
Yeah.
Now I will tell you that conversation is harder for most people than somebody saying that they just cheated on somebody.
Right.
And that's because of our society's viewpoint about weight.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How messed up is that? How messed up is that it's easier for most people to say that they just cheated on their partner than to tell them they're not as attracted to them because they're fat.
Right. They don't want to hurt their. I didn't want to hurt your feelings, so I cheated on you, and then I'm sorry.
Right. Anyway, life is about some hard conversations if you're having an authentic relationship. And Modern Tantra, we're all about teaching people how to have authentic relationships. We don't even really know what that means most of the time as people, because we are too busy lying all the time.
Lying?
Yes. Lying to ourselves, lying to everybody else. I know I'm really hardcore on this whole integrity and impeccability
all the
issue.
time?
Well, think about it. What do? Oh, I think I'm going to go ahead and, I'll take out the trash. You say to yourself, I'll take out the trash in 10 minutes. And then you sit down, you're watching TV, and you just blow that off. Okay, well,
Right.
you just lied to you. Essentially, you lied to yourself. You cannot, if you learn you can't trust what you're going to say, you stop believing in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, you cannot forge ahead successfully in life. You say to somebody, oh, I'll be there in 20 minutes. And then you're there in 30. These are little things, but they add up to really big stuff. Right?
I try to be vague about when I'm going to
Right,
be
yeah, well,
someplace.
and then there's the
That
people that
doesn't
are
work
like, oh,
either.
great, I have great integrity, I never commit to anything.
Right.
Great. No,
that doesn't count.
No, that doesn't count at all. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to consider your impeccability and consider how truthful you are on a daily basis. We tend to lie about all sorts of things that don't even really matter. The biggest one is, oh, I'm sorry, I was in traffic. Instead of, wow, I just took off 10 minutes too late.
You should have seen what I did in traffic on my way here today. I was like,
He was getting here because I called him to tell him
I was making the moves.
I was going to be late because I was working on this webpage. So we have a couple things to wrap up, but really, really, I'm on my team. I'm on all my inner circle people about this whole impeccability, integrity thing. It's huge. And you might think about, what does that have to do with Tantra, love, sex, and intimacy? Everything.
Yep.
Absolutely everything. Impeccability and your word are paramount to your life in all aspects. Modern Tantra, we work with relationships, we work with self, we work with business, we work with the entire life. It's about life mastery. You can't have life mastery if you don't have integrity and impeccability. And we're a society that thinks we place high on that, but we really don't so much. Okay, I'm going to give you the webinar page so that you can get to our webinar on Saturday the 16th, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is minus 800 Greenwich Mean Time, for those of you overseas that are wondering about that. And if you get to www, you guys all know that by now, I'm sure, right? learningtantra.com/webinar.html. learningtantra.com/webinar. That's WEB. How do you spell webinar? Ian, do you know how to spell webinar? WEBINAR.
It's actually on the Facebook page.
No, it's on my Facebook page.
It's on the wall of the Facebook page.
Learningtantra.com, webinar.html will get you to the sign-up page for our webinar, tell you more about it, what's going on. We're talking about Tantra. What is Tantra? It's trying to explain all those Neo-Tantra, Classic Tantra, Urban Tantra, Modern Tantra. What are all these things that we're talking about?
I imagine also that on learningtantra.com there might be, a link.
No, you won't find it if you just
Really?
go to Learning Tantra. No, this is a special.
There's not a link that gets you over to that side?
This is a
and you get to
special. This is a special. Are you kidding? For $4.97?
No, I'm not saying to get to it for free.
I'm saying you need to hear it on the radio.
Yeah.
Or you need to get an email from me because you're on my emailing list.
Oh.
And you went to learningtantra.com on any page to the left and signed up. You get 20 free videos, an ebook, an MP3, like a whole bunch of stuff if you sign up. More than that, you get news about these kind of things.
So if I heard the link that you just said and it went in one ear and out the other, I could go to learningtantra.com
today, right now.
And I could sign up as, to get the email and the...
And you would get an email from me with this link
videos.
And everything in it, so all you'd have to do is press click.
But the main thing is that you'll get the link to the webinar.
Right.
So there are more than one way...
to get to the webinar.
There is more than one way.
Facebook, my email list. You hear it on this podcast. Now, maybe you're hearing it on a podcast and you're listening to this on Sunday, and you're like, I missed Not to worry, because you can download it.
Yes.
So get to that page, and everything will work out for you. learningtantra.com/webinar.html, and we'll hook you up. Okay, we have a sponsor.
We do.
I know. We know about our sponsors. It's AdamandEve.com.
AdamandEve.com.
Right.
Toys, and more toys.
Adult toys. Remember what we're talking about here.
Not Not Christmas for the whole family.
No. Adult toys. So basically, if you're looking to spice things up in the bedroom, or you've been fantasizing about surprising your lover with an adventurous new toy or movie.
I'm an adventurous kind of guy. I like to,
Yeah, well, they've got an offer that you cannot
exploration.
resist. Right.
Get my headlamp on.
You can go to adamandeve.com for a limited time and get 50% off on just about any item. 50% off.
50%
That's like half
off.
price. That means you can buy double the amount easy. That's what Joshua
Twice
does.
as much lube.
That's right. But that's not all, because when you select your 50% off item, you also receive 3 adult DVDs.
3 adult DVDs.
Yeah. Plus, this kills me, a free extra gift so essential I can't mention it on the radio, and nobody will tell me what it is. Okay, that's making me crazy.
They're holding out.
To top it off, we throw in free shipping, entire order, and no, we're not teasing you about this. So check out adamandeve.com today, 50% off an item when you type in
the code
Tanja. Tanja. Say it with me, everybody. Tanja. That's right, you got that. That is your coupon offer code. So when you do this, you get the 3 DVDs, a free gift that's making me crazy, and free shipping, and you're 50% off. adamandeve.com. Get there.
Sounds like that gift is destined to make people crazy no matter what.
I know.
Exactly. I imagine once you get it home and use it, it's designed to kind of
make you crazy. I wish somebody would tell me, though.
I want to know what it is.
I know. It's making me crazy. All right. So there we are. We are webinaring. We are working on my men's products like crazy. So I've got my men's sexual knowledge ebook that I'm pounding away. I guess that's
pounding away. That's not really the right choice of words in my company. Please.
What are you gonna do? I've got my men's sexual vitality book that I'm working on, and that includes not only how to keep your penis and sex life healthy and vigorous.
How to keep my penis healthy.
Right, because there's a lot to it actually. If you just kind of let it hang out and do its own thing, and you do your own, you're going to be not happy when you're older.
Really,
there's a lot of things that you need to do to keep your sexual vitality at the peak. You don't have to decline. That's just a myth.
Really?
And for those people that think that penis enlargement is something that they need to do, and God knows in the book I tell you in the beginning all the reasons you probably don't want to do it.
Right.
But there are men that are insisting, and I know the ways. I have proof. I've taught men. It's true. You can do it. There's no creams, whatever. It's actually just exercises, and it is possible. So those are the products that I'm working on to get to you, along with the webinar and that we're having this Saturday. And what else are we doing? Oh, I'm speaking at the Women of Wisdom, February 13th.
Where is that happening?
That's in Seattle.
Seattle Women of Wisdom.
Womenofwisdom.org. Womenofwisdom.org. Seattle, Saturday the 13th, 1:30 to 4:30.
Great time to listen to Tanya sharing.
Tantra and the Art of Women. The Art of Tantra and Women.
I keep asking if I could go there to help or support. And
they won't let you.
No.
Right. And then right after that, I've got a women's class in Seattle and a couples class in Seattle, back-to-back weekends. Nice. After that. I've got a men's class coming up in Vancouver, Canada on the 30th of this month. Mm-hmm. And that's going to rock. That's the best of Tantra and men. And all these are on my website under classes or workshops. And the couples intimacy workshop, March 5th through the 7th. That is filling up, and you don't want to miss that. I have people flying in from Florida, people from all over the place.
Am I still celibate that weekend?
Yeah, you're just celibate for a while. Yeah, he's working on his celibacy, and we'll have a conversation about that at some point. Tantra
Maybe
and
next
celibacy.
Week we'll talk about
Tantra and celibacy. Why celibacy does work. So we cover a whole bunch of stuff here, but what I just want to leave people with once again is, stop being afraid to have the conversations you need to have to open up your relationship or blow it up, one or the other. Because if it's just sitting around in a bad limbo zone and nobody's happy, nobody's happy.
No.
And that's uncool.
No.
If you need help on figuring out how to communicate, I have a phone coaching special right now for $75. It's usually $150 for an hour.
$75
between now and February. Just the next few weeks, $75 an hour to call me. Phone coaching. Go to my website, learningtantra.com. Look under coaching, and it'll be there. Press the button, get the special, and it's till February, or when I have too many people. I got a bunch of people calling me on this because it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I can get that for $75, and I can help coach you through whatever you need to be coached through if you have some of those hard conversations,
right,
to have. In the meantime,
believe it or not, once those get put on the table, it actually gets much easier.
Yes, it does, and things get a lot better if you know how to do it correctly. All right, we are heading out here into the lovely Seattle rain, and we tell everybody that so they don't move here. It's always raining.
Yes,
and look forward
raining.
to your emails and everything, and talking about impeccability and integrity. And I want to see where it is you stand in that arena and what you need to shore up. And hope to see you at the webinar on Saturday. All right, everybody, take care.
Over and out.
Bye.
Bye.
You have been listening to the Tantra Love, Sex, and Intimacy Show with your host, Tanya Diamond. Visit our website at www.tanyadiamond.com. That's TANJA for more information on workshops and classes.